Like any true goblin, my shinies just arrived and I need to play with them immediately. Hi friends, we're doing some nail polish stuff today because the world is honestly going to shit and this is my therapy. Outside of actually seeing a therapist. So, I'm going to go ahead and tell you right now that this is going to be interesting. I have a few things to compare against the new Holo Taco X DavidsTea Teals. The only two that I got were the creme DavidsTeal and the metallic foil. I'm so excited. Teal With It. Metallic foils are my favorite of the nail polishes, of the nail polish finishes. So I'm going to do a few comparisons. Oh, it's so pretty. And hopefully the color looks somewhat accurate. The lighting looks insane. You can see the shadows of my hands because I have several different lighting sources. I was trying to get this lit well enough that I could actually accurately display the color, but I can already see what some other swatchers have said online, which is that this is going to be a little hard to color correct because my phone is wanting to show these slightly bluer than they look in person, though I will assure you that they do sit to my actual eyeballs. They do sit in that really nice, like in between turquoise space. They definitely have some blue undertones as well as green undertones, and they are not so green as, for say, let's go ahead and just show you a comparison. Thirsty, which is a Vice neon from Cirque Colors from a few years ago. That is definitely a much greener leaning color, but it's also not so blue as something like, let's say, Funhouse from ILNP, which is also a metallic foil and is much, much bluer than this. So they're sitting in that really beautiful, like, in between green and blue state. Don't worry, we're going to get into the comparisons, at least the ones that I have in my collection. I can go ahead and tell you, though, that the light is just like playing tricks on this packaging. The little cartons that these come in, the tops are fairly color accurate to what the creme looks like, just that this is actually like a hollow foil versus this being that flat creme color. However, it's showing up a little bit bluer. I'm going to see what kind of color correction I can even do with this video. But to my eyeballs, this looks a little bit more greeny turquoise to match this than the sort of like true cyan it's giving through my camera lens. And then it does go down to this nice navy on the bottom. We've got a nice little ombre. We love that. The holo is beautiful. She's gorgeous. I shall put these aside and let's get into it. We're going to compare DavidsTeal and Teal With It. And who are we starting with first? I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how whichever one I feel like playing with first. On my nails today, right hand, we have a Chaos Mani of literally just everything taco in like 4/5 coats. I did super thin coats to try and get it to like some version of full opacity. It's a topper, so it's somewhat of a fool's errand, but it's not. What is on my nail? What the hell? Excuse you. Pardon me. It is a topper, so most of the time the only version of like full coverage you're gonna get is if you are sponging it on, which I didn't feel like doing, but I do think I got it to fairly full coverage. I did use the pink smoothing base from Holo Taco under it, but this is Holo Taco's Everything Taco, and we just did a little opalescent mani for funsies. On this hand, though, we did a very similar thing with pink smoothing base from Holo Taco, and then I used 5 of the unicorn skin iridescent flaky polishes. This is lunar, solar. The pink one Cosmic, there we go. Aurora, the purple one, and then Galactic, which is the green, which is very fun. We left Sonic to go be by herself in the corner because I don't have 6 fingers on the one hand, okay? And I was just playing around with them. So I did a similar thing where I sort of like painted them in several layers on top of the pink smoothing base to create like a full-ish opacity kind of vibe, and it's been very pretty. But we're going to take this off so that I can play with the new shinies. All right, here we go. Hopefully the lighting is not the worst. It's definitely not the best since you are seeing all kinds of shadows. But this is kind of the best I could do with my current setup. So we're gonna go in with DavidsTeal first. And listen, I have no idea what kind of color correction I'm gonna be able to do on this, but I'm telling you, my camera right now through the viewfinder is making this look a little bit bluer than it actually is in real life to my own eyeballs. So if you don't have this yet, or if you're not planning on picking it up at all, but you're still curious, I'm going to show you some side-by-side comparisons that will hopefully help sort of like put it in, let's say, a color order that makes sense. Let me like zoom out a smidge since I'm bringing in all of these other bottles. And if maybe you have one of these, you can go, oh, okay, now I understand like what's happening here. I might even want to do that. Oh, wow. Okay, so this is the new Holo Taco DavidsTeal. I am showing it in comparison with Orly's, what is this? Give It a Swirl, which is also looking a little bit darker blue in the viewfinder than it is to my real life eyeballs. This is like a very nice, like almost pastel neon kind of light blue, very like robin's egg, but like slightly greener than a robin's egg. And then we've got Mooncat's Paradise Found, which when you're just looking at them like this, they seem fairly close in the color family. Paradise Found is definitely lighter in saturation. This is like a slightly deeper, darker, but wow, yeah, they're both looking a little bit bluer than they are in real life on my camera. Hopefully this will help though. I've also got Orly's Vintage, which is sort of this classic like mint turquoise pastel neon, showing it next to Give It a Swirl. You can definitely see like this is green or this one's blue, or and Teal With It falls kind of in the center and is a little bit like deeper. Okay, what else do I have? Then like showing the very green, I've got Island Peas Bottoms Up, much greener. And then the greenest of them all is Thirsty from Cert Colors. This is one of their Vice neons. It's very similar in tone to Bottoms Up from Island P, but it's like a bit just brighter. This, of course, is one of their Vice neons, and Bottoms Up is like just not quite as searing. So you can definitely tell in this comparison that DavidsTeal is much bluer, but it's definitely not quite as blue as Give It a Swirl. And maybe you're looking at my footage and going, Emma, that sounds stupid. It looks very blue. If I can't color correct to save my life, hopefully it'll make sense if you have any of these for your own comparisons. But it's definitely like more in the family of a darker version of Mooncat's Paradise Found. Wow. Even it's like my camera just like doesn't want to acknowledge David. Sir, this is so rude. Okay. Let's see them on the nail. Let's see the madness on the nail. And I'm going to do something silly. And by silly, I mean it's my house and my rules. I'm not going to worry about a base coat because I'm literally just going to be putting these on to swatch them and then take right off. So I'm not worried about taking twice as long to paint. Okay. Boop. Let me give you that nice little out of the bottle shot. She's so beautiful. We're going to start with the ring finger. Bitch, the coverage. The coverage. Like I'm not going to do it in just the one coat, but I can. I could do it in just this one coat and leave it and be like perfectly happy. Wow. And yet it is still reading so much bluer on my camera than it is in real life. You're welcome for this close-up of my peely nails. Oh, this is a good color. I like this color. This color is very nice. This color is a nice, deep version of, I think, what I wanted from all of these other ones that I've purchased over the years. Let me bottle this back up real quick so I don't knock it over. I have a bunch of these like minty turquoise shades because I love them so much, and I'm sort of like perpetually searching for this like perfect kind of mint creme. Oh my god, that's really nice. It's nice and deep. I feel like I don't have a good comparison that's like a darker turquoise or a darker teal. Oh my god, can I not open this bottle? Okay, I'm going to do Orly's Vintage, which is this like slightly greener, slightly lighter version. And we're going to do it on the middle finger. Oh yeah, so much lighter. Jesus Christ. Whee! Much lighter and much greener. Much lighter, much greener, and absolutely not as opaque, which we were prepared for, right? Okay, next, let's do, I just did a manicure with Mooncat's Paradise Found. Hopefully my bottle doesn't shatter on me as I open it, because it definitely has some skinny walls. All right, we're gonna go on the pinky. Yeah, this is much closer to Orly's Vintage. Pardon the shaking of the camera. I did just hit the little phone tripod. Ooh. I mean, it's a cute Skittle. Not gonna lie. Let's clean up this like awkward spot over here though. Whee! This is my cleanup brush from KB Shimmer. Highly recommend because it's got really pretty stones in it and it's friggin' rainbow chrome and we love that. Okay, here's one coat each of Mooncat Paradise Found, Holo Taco DavidsTeal, and Orly's Vintage. Then let's do a bluer one over here. Let's do Orly's Give It a Swirl on my pointer finger. Let's try that. Much bluer for sure. I held it up in the bottle. Give It a Swirl from Orly is very close to Holo Taco's Scientific. So if you've got that one, it's definitely like, okay, this is absolute. DavidsTeal is definitely in the in-between category. Again, depending on my color correction abilities, which might be 0. DavidsTeal is looking to my eyeball greener than it's looking on camera, but not so green that it's leaving the like middle aqua turquoise teal category that it needs to be in, right? Okay, let's do a second coat of everything. Let's go in finger order because I don't remember what order I painted things in. Okay, do a second coat of this Mooncat one. Paradise Found on my pinky. Nice. David, where are you? There you are. Waiting perfectly in the wings. Ugh. Yeah. Okay, so things like Mooncat's Paradise Found and Orly's Vintage is what I would reach for if I'm feeling like turquoise mint. DavidsTeal is what I would reach for if I'm like, I need this tropical ass color and I need it to be like deeper. I'm trying to think. It's making me think of another color that is very similar to this that I don't have in my collection, but that helps you zero, because not only do I not have it, I don't remember what it's called. So you're welcome for the lack of help, I guess. Formula's great on DavidsTeal. Orly's Vintage is actually making me a little sad. I'm pretty sure she's a 3-coater on me, because I can still see some patchiness under there. And Paradise Lost, at least, like, is opaque enough. Yeah, okay. The color that Paradise Lost is looking on the camera is closer to what DavidsTeal is looking like to my actual eyeballs, except it's definitely still lighter. Wow, this is so freaking hard. My camera does not want to do these justice, but Vintage is definitely more green and lighter all at the same time. Okay, let's go in with give it a swirl on the pointer finger and see how we feel about that. And if it's also like, it just feels a little watery in comparison to the Holo Taco. But we know that Holo Taco cremes are thick. So, yeah, that's also, in my opinion, gonna need a 3rd coat. Oops, and I'm punching with my knee the side of the table, which is making everything shake. Sir, can you not? Pardon the notification from my tablet. Okay, so 2 coats each of Mooncap Paradise Found, Holo Taco, DavidsTeal, Orly, Vintage, Orly, give it a swirl. I'm going to close the bottles and line them up so that you can see what I'm talking about. The Holo Taco color, DavidsTeal, is like definitely really pretty. Nice and bright. Nice and beautiful. Bam, bam, bam. There we go. Okay. Maybe that's helpful. I don't know. Because it's not super color corrected. But at least you can kind of see that, like, this is not quite as green as these other ones, but it's also not quite as blue as this one. Though everything is looking a little bit more, I don't know, everything's looking like just a little bit darker on the camera than it is to my eyeballs. So, I don't know. Well, this is just one of those things. One of those things you'll have to either trust me on or do more research on. But hell yeah. I mean, it's not a bad Skittle. It's not terrible. Except for the 2 Orleys that need a 3rd coat. But I'm not doing that because these are opaque. Okay, we're going to move on to Teal With It. Whee! Okay, we're back. We're freshly naked. And oh, look at Teal With It. She's so beautiful. I did buy 3. I did buy 3 because metallic foils are my favorite finish. And I'm so glad that Holo Taco is finally like jumping on the foil train. Listen, the frosted metals, they are shiny and they are great, but that is a metallic foil flake. And I don't necessarily love all of those formulas. The same way that I love just a metallic foil like microflake, where it just, the flakes are so, just like tiny and shredded that you are not seeing these like massive chunks a la the unicorn skin flakies. So this is my favorite. Also, this color is stunning. Are you kidding? This is Tropical Paradise in a bottle. And I'm going to be living in this color in the pool this summer. Thank you very much. Also, this winter, except not so much in the pool. Okay, let's compare. I do think that the big question about Teal With It has been whether or not it is that same sort of middle of the road aqua that like definitely has blue undertones, definitely has green undertones, depending on your skin undertones, how warm or cool your skin is, depending on how the lighting is that you're looking at and under. I do think the Teal With It is potentially going to read more green And I brought the perfect comparisons that I have seen several people asking about. The perfect comparisons that I have seen several people asking about. Most people have been asking about ILNP's Funhouse, which, if you'll forgive me, the fill line for her is down here. So she looks like slightly fuller on camera than she is in real life, just because there's pigment like stuck to the side of the glass. But Funhouse is down here. But then I also have Starly's Bellatrix, which, when I first got ILNP's Funhouse, based on kind of like what the photos look like on the website, I thought the two of these were going to be like a little bit different. Bellatrix from Starly definitely is like bright green metallic foil, and it's in oh my god, Starly's metallic foil formula, just by the way, everyone, is the goat. AU by Starly is their gold metallic foil, and it is my favorite gold nail polish of all time. No, I will not be taking questions at this time. It is perfect. It is everything. I wore it on my wedding day. I wear it pretty much every birthday. I wear it kind of all the time, actually. I have gone through several bottles of it. It's perfect. And Bellatrix is in that same formula and is no exception for how gorgeous she is. It's stunning. She's so bright. She's so green. And depending on the lighting, it can maybe lean a little aqua, but like, to my eyeballs, it is firmly in the green family. Now, ILNP's Funhouse, when I got it, I was like, oh shit, this is like kind of the same pigment, but I can definitely tell you that I prefer Starly's formula. Now, it is more expensive than ILNP's formula, so, you know, you are paying for kind of the opacity of like how much foil flake you're getting, microflake, I guess I should say, that you're getting in each swipe, which is why I was happy to sort of like use a little bit of ILNP's Funhouse for an art project, which is why the fill line is so low, because I compared them to each other and I prefer Starly's formula. Don't worry, ILNP, I still love you. But these are the two that in my collection I'm like, oh, these are like solid dupes of each other. And I have seen a lot of folks online questioning whether or not Holo Taco's Teal With It is going to be the third dupe in this lineup. Now, I don't know. We're gonna swatch them out and we're gonna see. So I can tell you, just from looking at the bottle, like right away, they do all have that very similar, very metallic foil microflake appearance in that green. It's very possible that Starly's is like a bit greener, which is just, I don't know if it's gonna be apparent in the camera at all, but to my eyeballs, Bellatrix looks just a smidge more green than the other two, except depending on how I tilt them in the light, the three of them look identical. Holo Taco's Teal With It does have scattered holo, and the other two do not, so that is also a thing that I'm seeing. Let me see if I can like tilt it in such a way that you can actually see the holo. There's like a little bit. You can see a little bit sparkling over here. My lighting is absolute shit for showing off these things. But right now, the three of them look identical in the bottle. So let's actually swatch them and see if that's true, or I don't know, if they are different enough that, oh my god, please open, that it warrants owning all three. Oh Jesus. Okay, technical difficulties. Be back in a moment. Okay, now we're ready. Let's try. I'm going to start with Teal With It because I really want to see how her formula is. I'm assuming it's going to be fabulous and gorgeous. Hell yeah, coming out of the bottle. Oh, it looks beautiful. And I can definitely see more of the holo in real life. Don't know if it's showing up on camera at all, but that's fine. That's fine. It's not like I'm putting this on the internet for it to be helpful to anyone, so haha. Okay, we're attempting to turn up the light just a little bit. Again, this might be absolute shit footage, and sorry, not sorry. I don't have the money to get like a whole studio set up, so apologies, but also like not apologies. Okay, Teal With It. Hello, my friend. You're looking beautiful. We're starting on the ring finger. And it does look to have like the same kind of composition that both Funhouse and Bellatrix do, where it's like a clear base that's full of the metallic, oh my god, pay attention to like where the camera actually is, Emma. Okay, it does look like it's in a clear base, and then it's just packed with all of these like gorgeous, bright, turquoise leaning green foil microflakes. So the first coat is going to be a little patchy, and that's just like normal and fine. We are going to move on to the middle finger with Bellatrix, and I'm going to compare them side by side. Oh, Starly's formulas are just so freaking good. I definitely don't have, when it comes to my collection, like what my collection is comprised of, Starly, I only have maybe, I don't know, less than 20 total polishes from Starly. They just don't like release as often or speak to me as much as some other brands do in terms of their entire catalog. But holy cannoli, do they make some of my favorite nail polishes of all time, specifically their golds. Their golds are perfect. I will be doing a separate video on that later. Wow, okay. So side by side, this is kind of funny. Bellatrix is looking slightly bluer to me in this first coat. And my camera's already making things look a little bluer than like they kind of are in the light anyway. So like I don't even know if you can tell, but like this finger looks just slightly bluer than the Teal With It, which is kind of funny because I just spent several minutes talking about how Bellatrix is like definitely green and it's not at all blue. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, guess I'm eating my words. I haven't had lunch yet today, so I'm ready. Let's go. Let's eat the words. This is wild. I can say that Starly's formula is still just like fabulous. I mean, very similar composition with that clear base and then just packed with the microflake, but it feels like it's slightly more packed than Holo Tacos. Again, it's a higher price point than Holo Tacos, so like, I don't know. Maybe they're just shoving more shit in there and that's what you're paying for. I think it will all even out on that second coat though, but that's wild. Yeah, in the first coat, via my eyeballs, via the real world, Bellatrix looks just slightly bluer green than Teal With It. Okay, let's try and get some Funhouse out of the bottom of this bottle. Oh my god, I literally have to tilt it all the way over to get like the tiniest little bit. And then Island Peas is the sheerest of the three, which I was expecting. It's the most affordable price point of the three of them. Oh my god. Let's try. Come on. I believe in you. And it's so hard to get any off this brush because, Jesus Christ, can you see? We're all the way down to the dregs of the bottom of this bottle. Okay. I'm having to fully tilt it. I gotta say though, Island Peas brush is not my fave. Not my fave. Okay, there we go. Okay, so we're gonna call that kind of 1.5 coat because even just adding a little bit more Island Peas is already making up for how sheer it was in that very first swipe, but I barely had any on the brush, so I did need to dip back in. Okay. This is so funny. If you're not looking very hard, these are identical. I'm just going to kind of say it. If you're not looking very hard, these are identical. I'm going in with Holo Taco, Teal With It, for a second build. So, really, I think it just comes down to maybe I mean, Teal With It is a limited edition polish, and as far as I know, Funhouse and Bellatrix are not. So it just depends on like what kind of nail polish painter you are, what kind of collector you are. I didn't necessarily mean to collect 3 almost identical polishes, but I can say, like, this one's limited. These 2 are not. If you weren't able to pick up Teal With It, then you can definitely get a pretty close near dupe. I'm going to call it a near dupe because, again, like, I wasn't in the lab, so I don't know what kind of actual formulation is happening. But based on just using my eyeballs in real life, it looks like Island Peace Funhouse is the most sheer, so perhaps the most, like, forgive me, Island P, I love you, the most watered down formula of the 3, with Starly's Bellatrix having the most, like, packed of the 3, the least distilled, watered down. I'm gonna go in with a second coat of Bellatrix. And then Teal With It does have that scattered hollow running throughout, so you can easily give yourself like a similar look by adding a little bit of hollow to either of the other 2. If you're trying to get the Teal With It look on a budget, Island Peace Funhouse is the way to go. If you have a couple extra dollars to spend, I highly recommend Bellatrix. This formula is just beyond, but looking at the 3 of them side by side on my nail, I don't know that I would necessarily be able to, like, if I forgot which one it was, obviously the hollow would give it away in Teal With It, but I think if I tilt my finger back enough, you can kind of see, like, that blurry, like, little rainbow. But if there wasn't hollow in here, I guarantee you I would just be staring at my fingers like, which one is which? I don't actually remember. Okay, let me go in with another, like, 2.5/3 coat vibe, because I just want to make sure I can build up to opacity. Funhouse is one of Island P's ultra metallics, is what they call it, and I do genuinely love them. I love that Island P is at such a reasonable price point, and that they are really good about, like, not ignoring holes in their catalog, for, like, lack of a better phrase. They're really good at being able to, like, pick out certain colors and say, like, let's add a little bit of this and that. I don't know if I'm making any sense. They're really good at being able to see the nuances of their catalog and say, we can fill a niche right here. And I absolutely love that. I think the collection that Funhouse came out in was like maybe a 5 or 6 piece collection, and it had several, I have several of the colors. It had several different colors in this same metallic foil microflake formula, and I have the blue from that collection, which is called Blueprint, here as a comparison to show you that it is definitely bluer than the green of these 3. Let me put the cap back on this so I don't spill the last dregs. So, like, gosh, Funhouse is even looking more, every single one of these is looking more blue on my camera. I keep repeating it just so that you're not missing it. But it's definitely greener than Blueprint, which is the exact same formula, came out in the exact same collection. And Teal With It is very similar. This is more blue. This is more green. You're definitely going to get your green. Don't worry. But yeah, I don't know that if you, I don't know if you have one, I don't know that you need 3, unless you are just that kind of collector, and unless the formula itself is the thing that matters to you. So I can go ahead and say, because Holo Taco, like I know for a lot of us, is the brand that, because I was watching Christine of Simply Nailogical in the end of the 20-teens, Holo Taco is the brand that kind of, like, nursed me through some portions of the pandemic, because I was an artist and an educator in theater, and that all went away with the Panina. And so I spent a good amount of time being like, you know what, I love nail polish. Let's, like, really get into nail polish, and started getting into indie brands during that time. And because I started collecting Holo Taco like right when it came out in the summer of 2019, in terms of my collection, it is the brand I have the most of. So I'm glad to have purchased Holo Taco's version of this metallic foil microflake, especially because I want to encourage Christine to like understand that this is a valuable formula, and for people like me who live and die by metallic foils, like I need more of these. Thank you very much. And I'm glad to have the version that has the holo baked into it, because of the three of these, I will probably not be repurchasing Island Peace Funhouse. Starly's Bellatrix, from the perspective of if I want the like greeny metallic foil without the holo, now I have my option. This has the holo baked into it, this one does not, and Starly's formula is just beyond. Not that Holo Tacos is bad by any means, I'm just saying if I'm comparing the three of these next to each other, Starly's formula is the one that just mwah, chef's kiss. It's perfect, but it is also the most expensive of the three of them. I don't need to do an additional coat right here. I'm just doing it because it's pretty. I'm just doing it because I feel like it. Yeah, this is the ranking. Funhouse for the affordable option. That's my pinky. The new Teal With It is limited edition anyway, so if you weren't able to snag it, or if you're not able to find it in a D-stash, have no fear. You have two other options here, and then Starly's Bellatrix is just gorgeous. I'm just like staring at them really hard. I do think there is a slight color variation between Bellatrix and Teal With It / Funhouse, but it is so slight that when I'm just looking at the three of these next to each other, I'm telling you, someone just glancing at your hand is not going to think you're wearing a Skittle manicure. They're going to be like, oh, you're wearing one nail polish and it's the same one on all fingers. So let that kind of be your deciding factor. But I'm still glad to have purchased Teal With It because I want Christine to know that she needs to invest in making more of these metallic foil flake formulas. It's my frigging favorite. Here, I'll show it next to Teal No Lies, also limited. Teal No Lies is much darker, much deeper. Doesn't have holo. Still very beautiful. And then, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to actually show you. I grabbed another Island Pea polish that I thought might have been slightly closer, but it's definitely more of a blue teal on comparison. It's No Days Off, and this also has holo in it, and it's got the vibe of like the metallic foil, but it is bluer. Let's put it on the pointer finger. Let's experiment. I think my thought was, God, Island Pea's brush, they need to switch to the like rounded tip, the like paddle brush vibes. Oh yeah, that's coming out so much darker. If you can tell at all, it looks so much bluer to my actual eyeballs. Who knows if the camera's picking that up, because I don't know. Technology apparently hates this particular turquoisey teal shade. So again, Teal With It, Bellatrix, Funhouse over here on the left, and then I just did the first coat of No Days Off, which is like what I would consider, I don't know, the in-between shade of the green foil microflakes, on its way to Teal No Lies. Teal No Lies does look a little bit deeper and darker to me than No Days Off, but I might have to put that on my thumb and do another comparison. Maybe nobody cares this much, but you know what? I do. God, No Days Off is beautiful. See, Island P, I do love you. I love you a lot. Actually, in my collection, I'll have to do like a tour of my wall because I have a wall of nail polish. Island P is the second most represented brand after Holo Taco. And it's very cool because I live in Vegas and they're based in Vegas. And I just want them to let me come to their warehouse. But like in an invited way, not in like a creepy. I just showed up at the front door and said, "Let me in," kind of way. We're not stalking anyone. We're respecting boundaries. Ooh, I just dragged that across the front of my nail. Forgive my poor application. Okay. Yeah, that's so pretty. But it is bluer. It is bluer. Can you tell that it's bluer? We're going to attempt. And then I am actually going to put Teal No Lies on my thumb just to get that comparison. Again, with no base coat, we are fully riding dirty. Ugh, Teal No Lies is so freaking pretty. See, the thing about Teal No Lies is it's got that like jelly curly-ish base. I think it's just jelly. And it might even be the same metallic microfoil pigment inside the darker teal blue base that like if you just put it in a clear base would come out to be Teal With It. But it's definitely got a little bit more of a green like shift to it when the light hits it. Not that I can show you with any sort of accuracy with how insane my phone is being. Do these all look identical? They shouldn't. I mean, these three can look identical. I'm fine with that. This one is more blue, and this one is the darkest of them all. So, I don't know. Let's do one more. No Days Off. Ah. And honestly, if Teal With It is like, okay, it's like slightly too turquoise for your taste, then go get No Days Off. / figure out how to find Teal No Lies, and you've got yourself the bluer version, the darker bluer version of whatever it was you were looking for. I do not mind owning all of these because I am that kind of collector. I'm not a collect everything kind of collector. I'll go ahead and tell you that. I am, though, this is my favorite color and I will collect 17 versions of it kind of collector, though. Eventually I will do a video about all of my golds because metallic gold nail polish is my favorite nail polish, specifically metallic foils, and I'm so excited to walk everyone through. Spoiler alert, Starly is the winner of all of it. But okay, here we go. Yeah, Island P Funhouse on my pinky, Holo Taco's new, Teal With It with the scattered hollow on my ring finger, Starly's Bellatrix on my middle, Island P No Days Off, a bluer, deeper with hollow metallic, and then Holo Taco Teal No Lies, the darkest of the bunch, but still gorgeous and still shining, nice and green, if the light were to hit it correctly on my thumb. I mean, it's just a really beautiful hand of nail polish. Okay, I think I've talked for 74 hours about this. Let me just like paint a manicure. And I'll see you in a minute with final thoughts. Okay, bye. All right, my friends, in conclusion, if you like this color story, you will like these nail polishes. That's kind of all I have to say after I ranted and rambled for 87 years about how blue, green, blue, etc. these polishes are. Now, again, take this with a grain of salt if you haven't seen them in person. Both of these shades from Holo Taco look a little bit more green in person than they do on my camera right here, right now. This is also one of those things where I do think they sit kind of perfectly in that in between space, the blue green, the bleen, the middle liminal space, where depending on the lighting and depending on your own undertones in your skin, your human skin, I do think that they will kind of shift depending on how you're looking at them, when you're looking at them, how you're wearing them, etc. So I do have a few shots here showing you what these look like in different light. This is in my office, just under the ceiling lights. I also show this to you next to my Christmas tree. And yes, I do still have my Christmas tree up because winter only started a few weeks ago, friends. It's a winter tree. I keep this thing up for all of January. Die mad about it if you are. Anywho, if you are interested in these colors, and you can't find either of them or they're both sold out because they are limited edition, Teal With It is one that you can easily dupe with either ILNP's Funhouse or Star Elise Bellatrix and a scattered hollow topper. DavidsTeal is the creme that I don't currently have a dupe for in my collection, but you might be able to find something out there that's similar to it. And yeah, I think they're great if you love this color palette and if you're okay with them kind of going back and forth between slightly blue and slightly green. For example, this shot was taken outside during sunset. It was kind of overcast, and they were definitely giving aquatic pool water color vibes. But I would still say, like, this looks more blue than it does on my hand in real life. And oh look, you've been blessed by a visit from one of my children. I hope this was at least somewhat entertaining, dear friends, and that you take good care of yourselves and have a really wonderful rest of your day. Happy painting.